Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Michael from TechDiffuse and I want to teach you how to code. And in this video I want to show you how you can create a Christmas tree and print it out on the console, and all written in plain Java. The task is relatively simple and is especially suited for beginners in programming. Despite being simple, we will use all the tools, all the basic tools that are available in the programming languages, like variable assignment, loops, if conditions, a bit of object orientation, print out statements, and yeah, pretty much everything you need to write a simple and basic program. So, and if everything has worked out, you will see a Christmas tree on your screen, just like you can see here. Okay, so let's start with some preparations for our program. So as I told in the introduction, I want to use a little bit of object orientation, not too much for the beginning, just a bit. So the first thing is we create a Christmas tree object and give it a generate method. And the generate method expects a height parameter, and we deliver a height parameter with a value 3. So there we go, we have written our Christmas tree class with the void method, and we're good to go. Okay, first up, let's think about some design considerations, how a tree should look like. So again, as I said, this is a pretty easy program and a simple one, and I divided it in basically 3 steps. We have first the tree itself. It consists of stars, simple star symbols. Then we have the lower end of the tree, like the bottom of the tree, and at last we have the trunk of the tree. And in the next step I will create a little mock-up of how I imagine that the tree should look like in the end. It has no programmatic logic, no loops or anything, just print out statements to have an idea how the end result should look like. And there you go, this is our first attempt how the tree should look like. You can see it's pretty much already there. It has some issues with the alignment. We have to correct the indentation so that it looks on both sides the same, but actually this is already it. Okay, so here we go, we correct the alignment, again everything manually just to have an idea for the prototype, and let's see how it looks like now. And there you go, this is pretty much the end result I wanted to have, without any loops, just print out statements, but this is the result I want to have. And now we want to try to make it a more general way so that we can print out any tree and any given height. Okay, so now let's go to the first part, the actual drawing of the tree. First of all, we delete all these printout statements, they were just mockups, and we go into the correct implementation. So first of all, I created a loop. This loop starts with 0 and runs until our height of the tree. So this means it has exactly the amount of loop passes as our tree is high. So this means in our case we started with the height 3. This means our tree has 3 rows because we have 3 loop passes. So 3 loop passes equals each 1 row, so 3 rows. So, and inside the outer loop we have to print out the stars. And one way to do it is to use another loop, and this loop prints the amount of stars per row. So in my example, I wanted to print out in the first row 1 star, in the second row 3 stars, in the third row 5 stars, and so on. So, and now you already see the pattern. In every new row we add 2 additional stars. To be able to draw the correct number of stars per row, we have to introduce a new variable. I called it the width counter. You can use any variable name you like, but the width counter, it starts, as I said, with 1, so 1 star in the first row. It means 1 loop pass for the inner for loop, and for the second outer loop, that means for the second row, we have 3 passes in the inner loop. And in the next loop, for the outer loop, that means height 3, we have 5 passes. So we can achieve this if we have this width counter. We set it in the first outer loop to 1, and in every next loop we set it +2, so that we have +2 stars in every new loop. And here is your result. It is pretty much like the first mock-up I showed you. We have all the stars aligned, but they have the wrong indentation. So we have to find a mechanism to get the correct amount of white spaces for the first 2 rows that the tree is symmetrically. So one way to do the thing with the indentation is to introduce another for loop. There are many possible other ways, and I hope you will find out your own ways, but in my case, to make it really easy to understand, we introduced just another loop right before the loop with the printing of the stars to get the correct amount of indentation to our program. And that's pretty much it for the upper part of the tree. We have the correct amount of stars per row, we have the correct indentation per row, and for every new row we get 2 additional stars, and the indentation is also corrected, so this means we can print now any amount of stars, any amount of rows that we want. So actually this was already the hardest part, to draw the trees and indentations in the correct way. Now the lower end of the tree, or the bottom of the tree, is pretty much easy. I will introduce another loop and print some simple dashes to generate the lower end of the tree. And here we go. We have the top part, the upper part of our tree consisting of the stars, and the lower part of the tree consisting of some simple dashes. So for the trunk of the tree, once again, I use a for loop. But now in this case, we want to know the middle of the tree, because I want to print the trunk exactly in the middle of the tree, but for this we have to find out the middle. So we introduce a variable middle and compute the middle of the tree. And as you can already see, this is a similar approach as drawing with the trees. First we have our outer loop. This is for the height, and then we have our inner loop, which is for the indentation and for the printing of the actual trunk. And the trunk is just 2 apostrophes, one above the other. One way to compute a center is to take the maximum width and divide it by 2. And +1, because we cannot calculate in integer values with comma separated values, so just +1. And to get the max width, and in our case the height is just the width times 2 minus 1. And there you go. This is the end result. We have the upper part of the tree, we have the lower part of the tree, and we have the trunk of the tree. And yeah, this is pretty much it. So now everything works for the height 3, which is already pretty good. Now let's play along a bit with the height parameters. So there you go. This is the tree with the height 5. As you can see, we have 5 rows of stars. Every new row we have 2 additional stars, so everything is perfect. The alignment is correct, the stars symmetrically, this looks good. We have the correct amount of dashes for the lower end of the tree, and the trunk of the tree is exactly in the middle. So, and the same goes for 10 rows of stars. And again, everything looks good, it's symmetrically, every indentation is correct. The amount of dashes in the lower tree is correct, and the trunk's also in the center. and you can put even higher values. In this case, 20, and I think you get the idea. But yeah, this is pretty much it. So now that you have seen my solution, I'm eager to see your solution. My solution isn't the best, of course, there are many other solutions, but I think for a novice, if you're starting to program, it is one of the easiest way to imagine how you can create such a tree with the correct indentations and the amount of rows and everything. And also, even this is a pretty simple program, there's pretty much everything, every basic programming thing in it. We have some, as I said in the beginning, we have some object orientation, we have conditions, we have loops, we have yeah, pretty every basic thing you need in the beginning. So let's build your own tree and use all of this mechanics, all of these techniques, and yeah, post them in the comment box below. As I said, I'm eager to see them. If you do have any questions, just write me in the comment box or send me an email. Also be sure to visit my website, techdiffuse.com, and yeah, I hope I see you in the next one.